You guys told me to build a whack-a-mole game using LEDs, buttons, and an Arduino. So I tried making that in one day. If you've already seen my content before, welcome back to Half-Built. If you're new here, I'm a high school graduate learning engineering on my gap year. So if you're also doing the same or are interested in seeing how this pans out, follow along on this journey. So I asked you guys on Instagram what I should build next, and one of you said to build a whack-a-mole game. So that's what I'm doing today, with no experience and honestly zero idea if this will actually work. Alright, so first things first. I didn't have a bunch of components, just my Arduino and some basic stuff from my last haul. I made a video of that so you can check it out with the link in the description. Now to make this whack-a-mole game, I needed LEDs, push buttons, a breadboard, my Arduino, and some jumper cables to make this work. Now I want to keep this project very simple, so I have two blue LEDs which will act as the molds and the corresponding buttons with them. So whenever the LED turns on, you're supposed to click it, and if you click it in time, the light will flash green. If you don't click the correct button on the correct time, the red light will flash. So first I began by wiring up the basic structure of the LEDs and the buttons. Once that was done, I connected 220 ohm resistors to each LED, connecting them in parallel to the ground. I don't know if my breadboard was really old, but for some reason the pins were not going in the way they're supposed to. So that is why you see me taking out the resistors over and over and trying to put them back in the correct way. On camera this may look a lot better, but trust me, in real life this was a lot harder to do. Now the reason I connected all the LEDs in parallel was so that I could control each one based on the situation of the game. So let's say if the blue LED is clicked on the correct time, that is when I need to send a signal to the green LED to turn on. And the same goes for the red LED to turn on when I miss a button. Okay, I'm finally done wiring up the resistors. This is what the project is looking like so far. I have the buttons in the wrong place over here. They're actually supposed to go through the middle. I will be fixing that later on though. Now I could have directly connected jumper wires to the Arduino, but my jumper wires are quite small, so I had to make sure to move the wires towards the top as much as possible. That is why I use connecting cables to make sure that my jumper wires don't have to travel a huge distance to go to the Arduino. Over here I have the ground connected to the wrong place, which I will later realize. This is the part they don't show you in tutorials. You will make mistakes. The trick is to keep going no matter how many times you fail, because if you're learning a new skill, failing is inevitable. Over here I was trying to figure out how the circuit would be made in Tinkercad. If you want to make this project as well, I will leave the link of the circuit in the description so you can check that out. Once I made the circuit in Tinkercad, it was very easy for me to follow the instructions and make the circuit exactly how it was in Tinkercad. So to explain this simply, the positive leg of each of the LEDs was going into a specific pin on the Arduino, which I will later program in the Arduino IDE. I did the same thing to the buttons as well, so that when it's pressed, it will trigger a response in the Arduino. If you're liking this project so far, please feel free to leave a comment telling me which projects I should make in the future. I have a bunch of ideas in my mind. For example, I want to install Jarvis on my laptop. If you'd be interested in seeing that, do let me know. My gap year has just started and I hope to do a lot of fun things in the future, including hackathons and much more. Okay, now back to the project. Now according to the Tinkercad diagram, I had to connect the ground of the breadboard with the resistors. Again, I don't know if my breadboard's old, but it was pretty hard to put the wire in. At the end, I only made it work by pushing a jumper wire in. Okay, so while I finish up making the circuit, I'll address a question a lot of people have been asking me in my Instagram DM, which is, do I feel left out by taking a gap year? And they're often asking that because they're interested in taking a gap year themselves. Now, I want to be completely honest about this. Taking a gap year is something that a lot of people will not be comfortable doing because a lot of people do want to stay with their peers. And of course, at the front of it, taking a gap year makes you behind. In my case, I've been planning to take a gap year since high school started, so I have this entire year planned out to the T. But if you do not have a proper reason to take a gap year, it might not be as beneficial for you and it can do more harm than good. So I personally advise everyone to think it over properly before you decide to take a gap year, since everyone's situation is unique and needs to be addressed accordingly. This doesn't mean I'm discouraging you from taking a gap year. It just means you should take a harder look at why you're taking one. In my case, it was because I didn't receive enough scholarship. Also, if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out. Okay, now I'm finally done wiring up the circuit. This is what it looks like. And now all that's left to do to complete this game is to code the logic. So I began by plugging in my Arduino into my computer. Once that was done, the fun part begins. Now the game logic was quite interesting. First of all, I just had to make sure to declare all the variables, which were the buttons and the LEDs, because I had given them each a different pin. And that pin would do a specific function based on a specific input. Once I did that, I had to code the initial stages of the variables, making sure which LED would be on or off at the start of the game. I also had to make sure the LEDs waited a random amount of time before flashing. Otherwise, the game would be too easy. After that, inside the main loop, I wrote the code for the mechanism in which a specific mole would be selected in a random amount of time, and if a button would be clicked, it would trigger a function moleback, which would take the LED and the switch as the parameters and calculate if it was a win or a loss, and as a result, it would flash either the red or the green LED. Now let's say neither button was clicked in time. Then we would move towards the else statement, which would directly flash the red LED. Now after this one cycle is completed, the game waits a random amount of time before starting over again. If you want to make this project and don't want to code from scratch, I will attach the code down below as well, so you can just use the code that I used. So right here I thought my code was done, but then as soon as I tried to upload it, this happened. I didn't realize the issue at first, but then I had a look and I realized I was using the wrong brackets. Now I have mainly worked in web development, so I know JavaScript and Python. So this is completely new for me and hence I messed up with the brackets. Albeit this was a pretty easy issue to fix. Once I fixed that and uploaded the code, there were no issues. And I thought just maybe the project was finally over. But then, as I looked at the breadboard, the green light was constantly flashing even when it wasn't supposed to. At this point, I had been working on the project for quite a while and it was 4 a.m. in the morning and I was pretty eager to go to sleep. So I just prayed that the issue would be easy to fix. Now as you can see, as the blue light turns on, the green light turns on with it even when I don't press the buttons. And as it turns off, the red light still flashes. Now the serial monitor helped me realize that the green light was never turning on. So it wasn't supposed to flash. Hence, I went back to see if my wiring was correct. And sure enough, I messed up in the wiring. It was that same ground cable from earlier that I should have plugged it into the ground, but I plugged it into the button, which made everything not work. After everything was fixed up, we finally have a working whack-a-mole game. Now it doesn't look too pretty, but it does work. If you guys would be interested in a part 2, I would love to transfer this to a prototype board and solder it in place. And maybe make it look like one of those cool cyber decks. But for now, this is what we have. And I was able to complete it within a day. So if you have nothing to do this weekend, might as well make a whack-a-mole game, cause why not? This was a pretty fun project and it taught me a lot about serial monitors and how we can debug problems in electronics. If you have any suggestions or improvements in what I could have done differently or what I should try next, do leave them down below. And as I said, I'll leave all the links down below if you want to make this yourself. And if you're interested in being part of this gap year journey, be sure to subscribe and stay updated whenever I upload. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.